Welcome all y'all out there in Radio Land to the classroom of Professor Percy Pickem's Peerless Pigskin Predictions and Prognostications 101. Professor Percy Pickem, the freight train of pigskin pain and the master of point spread disaster. After much cogitation and coin flipping, the old professor has carefully prepared his lesson plan, and he's here with his weekly lecture on gridiron glory and his prodigious Pickem Pigskin Report. This week, there's a lot of gridiron grit on the schedule, so sharpen your number 2 pencils, get in your seats, open your books, and get ready to take some notes. The old professor's class is now in session.
This is Professor Percy Pickem, precisely prepared to precariously pontificate during another phenomenal period of my preposterously pleasing Peerless Pigskin Predictions and Prognostication 101. There's some strikingly spirited pigskin struggles on this Saturday's spectacular schedule on which to stupendously speculate. So let's get down to some serious speculating. Texas Tech versus Arkansas. A rough and ready rash of rowdy Red Raiders wrangle their way out of their western High Plains location of luxurious Lubbock to a perilous pigsty up in scenic Walmart City to wrestle with a newly unranked roster of run-deficient Razorbacks. The muscular masked marauders of the Big 12 have plunderous plans to put a ponderous passel of pot shots on the pungent porkers, but the wind-hungry hogs will hustle up a titillating triumph and avoid another Holy Toledo weekend. Percy's pick, Arkansas. Georgia Tech versus Notre Dame. An enthusiastic entourage of energetic engineers irrationally logarithm out of the Big Peach, meaning to manipulate a complicated equation of gridiron geometrics against a feisty fraternity of fighting Irish favorites. This one has all the intoxicating signs of a superbly stunning, spine-tingling South Bend stemwinder between the 14th-ranked ACC Yellow Jackets and the 8th-ranked gold-helmeted Goliaths, and could wind up as tight as an Irishman trapped in a barrel of Guinness. Percy's pick, in a rambling wreck upset, Georgia Tech. Florida versus Kentucky. A squiggly selection of slippery, sun-baked water lizards slowly slither out of their slimy swamp to scuffle with an irritated wad of wily Wildcats in an SEC East stressful Saturday night struggling match. The big old broad-shouldered boys of the bucolic bluegrass bear a brassy ambition of boldly busting a 28-year losing streak to the rough-skinned reptilian rascals, but the fair-to-middling meows will lose their socks in the Lexington litter box. Percy's pick, Florida. Stanford versus USC. A synchronized squad of Silicon Valley computer geeks put plenty of pencils in their pocket protectors, hitch up their high-water britches, and crank up their high-gigabyte iPads, hoping to download a vicious Pac-12 victory virus into some Southern Cal software this Saturday. The analytical Wi-Fi wonders from the Redwoods will have plenty of hard drive, but not near enough RAM to out-Google the fearsome freeway fighters of smog-infested Trojan land. Percy's pick, the fellas with the brushes on their heads, USC. Nebraska versus Miami. A cultivated contingent of chunky corn-fed competitors take leave of landlocked Lincoln to ponderously plot a perilous path to the hurricane-inhabited beaches of multilingual Miami. The high-hustling Huskers of the Big Ten are slyly scheming a serious storm-stopping strategy to put a bodacious black and blue coloration on the energetic eye of the turbulent ACC Typhoons, but will find no shelter in the pigskin helter-skelter. Percy's pick, home field advantage, Miami. Well, let's take a short break right here for a little equipment adjustment. I think I've got my chin strap pulled up a little too tight, which makes it hard for the old professor to talk right. But you stay loose out there, because we're going to be right back.
Southern artist Larry Womble has a collection of art prints from your favorite college towns. Visit LarryWomble.com to view the array of prints and place an order for yourself or as a special gift. LarryWomble.com.
This is Professor Percy Pickem. Each week, my peerless pigskin predictions are broadcast on the best radio stations in America, like our good Arkansas friends at ESPN Radio, KEWI 690 in the capital city of Little Rock, and the Dove 1620 in the Palmetto State's capital city of Columbia, South Carolina. We appreciate your kind support. Now back to my peerless prognostications. South Carolina versus Georgia. There's going to be a staggering SEC showdown in the dog pound, as a bustling bunch of robust banty roosters audaciously aspire to powerfully peck a prodigious perforation in the prickly pelts of a palpitating pack of dyspeptic bull puppies. The cocky cluckers will cause a calamitous commotion of dirt-scratching emotion between the hazardous hedges, but the Columbia chickens won't make the cut, while the 7th-ranked dangerous dogs put on the strut. Percy's pick is Georgia on my mind. SMU versus TCU. It's going to be a daring duel of denominations as a sanctified multitude of Mustang-riding Methodist circuit riders stampede into a consecrated Cowtown congregation of Christian croakers in a crusade for the annual Iron Skillet trophy. The high-tuition ponies will be raring to kick a heartfelt hoofprint into the fidgety Fort Worth athletic amphibians, but the devout disciples of sophisticated Dallas will need a Lone Star miracle not to bog down in Frogtown. Versus pick, TCU. California versus Texas. The Golden Bears of Alameda County excitedly exit their extreme enclave of unnerving earthquake disturbance, aiming to actively agitate an offbeat assembly of long-horned athletes down in the fun-loving Lone Star State. The fearsome Pac-12 Frisco Bay Fuzzy Wuzzies figure on blasting a Berkeley beatdown on the Big 12 beefy burnt orange bovines, but the broad-minded boys of California will be left singing a sad tune at the Austin city limits. Percy's pick, hook 'em home. Auburn versus LSU. The 18th-ranked War Eagle Express takes off from Auburn Aviation Toomer's Corner Terminal, excitedly expecting an exhibition of extreme athletic excellence as they dangerously descend into the deafening din of Death Valley down in the red beans and rice bastion of Baton Rouge. The plucky plainsmen will be plenty powerful against the 13th-ranked Time Clock Challenge Cajuns, but will not have to work overtime this week because at the final gun, the Bio Bengals will have won. Percy's pick, LSU. Ole Miss versus Alabama. A 15th-ranked rowdy ring of downright righteous rebels rambunctiously ramble into an unruly ramma-jamma rumpus room, raring for a rollicking rock'em sock'em rumble with a number 2 tremendously talented troupe of Tuscaloosa toughies called the Crimson Tide. It's going to be a knockdown in T-Town, with a high-octane Oxford offense attempting to puncture a defense plentifully packed with a powerful pile of prodigious pachyderms. Can the darling daredevils of Dixie drop a defining defeat on the domestic denizens of deep Alabama 2 years running? Or will the Tide control the roll? Percy's pick. Are you ready? Ole Miss. Well, the old professor was in the barbershop this week waiting for my old friend Jenkins to give me a haircut. There was another fella in there worried because his hair was beginning to turn gray. And Jinx told him, he said, son, you'll find out as you go along in this life that it don't make no difference what color your hair turns, just as long as it don't turn loose. That's barbershop wisdom for you, and old Jinx is full of it. We'll be right back. Whether you are tuned in on Professor Percy Pickem's radio network, our fabulous Facebook page, or right here on our weekly YouTube TV broadcast, we hope you get a kick out of the old professor's peerless program. We thank you so much for listening and would sincerely appreciate you telling all of your friends and acquaintances about us. Help us spread the word. Now, let's get back to the show. Well, it's that time again, students, so pay close attention and get ready to write real fast, because here's this week's edition of the old professor's quick picks and pronto prognostications. Navy barely swims by East Carolina. Indiana whispers by Western Kentucky. Texas A&M kneecaps Nevada. North Carolina beats Illinois. Colorado over Colorado State. Missouri conquers Connecticut. Virginia Tech passes Purdue. UCLA bashes BYU. Iowa ekes by Pittsburgh. Georgia Southern marches by the Citadel. Michigan State downs Air Force. Michigan taps out UNLV. Wake Forest beats Army. Oklahoma tames Tulsa. Tennessee wallops Western Carolina. Vanderbilt over Austin Peay. Mississippi State bullies Northwestern State. Duke dumps Northwestern. Kansas State beats Louisiana Tech. And Virginia breaks up William and Mary. Well, that about does it for this week, but we'll be back again next week. Same Percy time, same Percy station. So don't forget to tune us in on the radio, Facebook, and YouTube TV. And don't forget to tell your friends about the show. Just search for Professor Percy Pickem. That's P-I-C-K-E-M, Professor Percy Pickem. So long for now, and thanks so much for listening. And always remember the sage advice from my dear old friend Larry Womble. Play hard when you're ahead, and never give up when you're behind.
Professor Percy Pickem is a production of CRM Sports. For more, log on to y'all.com or share the podcast in the iTunes Store.